266,000 new jobs. The unemployment rate down to 3.5%. The market going straight up. Let's bring in Andy Puzder for some comment. Look, I've used the expression spectacular, blowout, knockout. Yeah, I mean, you call it what you will. How would you characterize this thing?
Well, the president might call it tremendous, and he deserves a lot of credit for this. This is all due to tax cuts and deregulation. If you add in the 41,000 jobs that were added to the numbers for September and October, you're talking about 300,000 jobs added this month. That is absolutely a tremendous number. We've now seen 16 months in a row with 3% plus wage growth, which means for the last 4 months, we've had 3% plus wage growth on top of 3% plus wage growth. This is an amazing report. Could you imagine what the economy would be doing if the Fed hadn't increased interest rates last September and December? Yeah. Just after these two cuts, we're seeing the vitality come back into the economy. It's what a wonderful morning to be on your show.
Yes, it's a wonderful morning, period. Take the other side of the coin for a moment. Do you think the Democrats will retreat from their huge tax increase ideas? Because that would really just kill this prosperity.
No. The good news is they won't retreat from that at all, which I think will destroy their chances for re-election in 2020. Remember, Walter Mondale came out and told America that he was going to raise their taxes, and he lost 49 states. The only one he won was Minnesota, which he barely won, which was his home state. I could see a similar result this year if this kind of trend continues. Look, they can't keep talking about increasing taxes if they want to win the general election, but they can't stop talking about increasing taxes if they want to get the Democratic nomination. So these candidates are really between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, look at that market go. All right, Andy, would you just stay there, please? I've got to deal with a couple of other issues here. First and foremost is Uber. That stock is poised to open lower, even though we've got a wild upside market. Andy Puzder is still with us. He's out there somewhere. I know you're there. You're the former CEO of Hardee's, Carl's Jr. What do you think to this? Checking up on workers who call sick to see if they're hungover.
Well, I think Chipotle needs to do whatever it can to convince consumers that they aren't going to get sick when you come and eat at Chipotle, because they got such terrible publicity from those prior incidents. But you do wonder why Chipotle is the one brand out of all the hundreds of fast food brands in this country, why Chipotle is the one that needs to have employees call in to nurses to make sure that they're actually sick and not hungover. What most companies do, and what Chipotle needs to really enforce, is what happens in the restaurant. You know, employees wearing gloves, how often they wash their hands, the kind of policies where these sorts of things don't happen at other brands. Now, there's nothing wrong with them having employees call into the nurse. It's a little invasive, but I think it's probably a good idea for the company to do it, again, to convince consumers. But why do they need it and nobody else seems to? That's the real question.
That's a good question indeed, but investors seem to be appreciative. The stock's now at over $800 a share. It had a remarkable comeback, hasn't it? I mean, I remember that in the tank.
People are getting sick eating their food. You know, that's pretty bad when you're a restaurant. They had to do something about it. So they've overreacted. Maybe I think it's kind of creepy to have nurses check them. Having said that, at the end of the day, where they were, it probably makes sense, and they erred on the side of being good about it.
But I think it's more of a labor shortage issue, because Chipotle has been offering possibly four-day weeks for their workers and supervisors to retain talent. And this might be because it's such a tight labor market, as we saw today with the latest jobs report.
They're going to have to pay them more.
I didn't know it was such a problem. But
every company wants free advertising.
And how tight that labor market. How tight the labor market is really emphasizes what a great jobs number this was. Could you imagine if there were a lot of workers available? Employers can't find workers, and we still added 300,000 jobs for the month.
It really is an extraordinary report. 3.5% unemployment, 266. He's sort of a green socialist. What's he doing claiming millions of dollars?
Well, you can't expect these elitists to live by the standards that they preach. Those standards are for the rest of us. This is the same guy who recently said that you shouldn't judge people on gender after calling himself the science guy for 30 years. I mean, there's no attempt to be consistent with their philosophy in their lives. It reminds me of the the climate change advocates who all travel to Italy in their private jets and their yachts to preach to the rest of us about climate change. You can't expect them to live by their own standards. I don't think they attempt to.
If there's one thing that really gets to me, it is rich socialists. I mean, and there's a lot of them about. I mean, Senator Elizabeth Warren is worth, according to congressional records, worth $12 million. And Bernie Sanders is worth close to $3 million. They're both socialists. I just don't get it, Andy.
I don't know. You know, Bernie Sanders in that Fox News debate with Martha McCallum was asked. She said, you know, look, you made all these millions of dollars, and he said, well, I'm not going to apologize for writing a successful book. I thought, yeah, what a great country, you know, where you can actually make a lot of money and you don't have to apologize for it. So Bernie Sanders is perhaps the most hypocritical of all the candidates. He also took advantage of the lower tax rates and every tax deduction he could come up with to pay lower taxes himself after opposing the tax cuts and trying to get everybody else to pay higher taxes. It's funny to watch. I hope that people out there really understand what these people are doing versus what they're saying. And I think we'll see a lot more progress in the next election. I would hope we get some
understanding that after a blowout jobs report like this and real prosperity, you elect a socialist next year in 2020 and it all goes away. And that's a fact. Andy Puzder.
Or if you impeach the guy we have in there now that brought this about, it's ridiculous.
Exactly. Andy, thanks very much indeed for being with us today.